Hi everyone, this is Terry from terryscraftroom.com. Welcome back. So today we're making this really cute card, and I cased it from Mo Roots, and I just love it because it's using the Thanks a Bunch celebration stamp set. And when you see this, you see carrots, but she saw trees. So I just thought this was a unique way to use this carrot stamp set. So we're doing this. So anyway, this is a free with $50 US purchase and out of the celebration catalog, and that is good until the end of February. And we're also using the Fern 3D embossing folder, which is in the annual catalog. So what do we need to get started? We need, and as always, if you miss a measurement or anything, go on over to terryscraftroom.com. I will have a direct link down below in the description box, and you can just go over there and get the measurements and the supplies and everything you need out of the full blog post. We need a card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored to 4 1/4. We need a piece, and this is balmy blue, by the way. We need a piece of balmy blue cardstock, so it's blue on blue, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. We need a piece of basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. We need a piece of evening evergreen that is 4 7/8 by 2 1/2, and we need a piece of basic white that is 4 3/4 by 2 3/8. So the first thing we need to do is we need to take our sheet of balmy blue and run it through the embossing folder and through the magic of video. I've done that. Okay, and then we're going to round corners, and just one corner on each item. So we're going to round the upper left hand corner, if I can get it in the corner rounder, and then again the upper left hand corner so that it'll match right there. And then this is the inside piece. We're going to round the upper left-hand corner again. And then these are the two front pieces. And everything needs to match. There we go. So there are all our corners are rounded. We are going to stamp on this piece and this piece. So I'm going to put all my other pieces away. So what we're going to do with this piece, and let me get a piece of scrap paper here, and it's kind of a well-loved piece of scrap paper, as you can see. Let's turn this over a little bit. But the other side is even well-loved. Anyway, excuse me. So I got a sticky note, and I punched out a 1-inch hole, and I'm going to use that and put that, somewhere in the middle here. And then the other side of the sticky note, I cut off an angled piece, and then I took some repositionable tape and put it on the back side of it, and I'm going to put that right about there. Okay. Now we need our excuse me, our blending brushes, and I'm going to grab some soft succulent ink, and when you use your blending brushes, I like to hold the head of the brush, not back here, because I feel like this neck is not real strong, and you always want to start off your project with your blending brush, and that'll give you a smoother blend, so to speak, onto your project. Okay, and there we have our ground. Okay, and then I need the balmy blue and another blending brush, and remember we've got our dot here, and again we start off the project, and it may not look like it's very dark, but once we pick up our sun, moon, whatever you want to call it, it will look dark. And I'm not worrying about overlapping because the soft succulent is a little bit darker than the evening evergreen, or than the balmy blue. You just want to make sure you don't have a white line down there. Okay, so there's that, and let's pick up our, and see how big of a difference we have? So that's how we do that. Okay, so we also want to take our little ground piece here, and I'm just gonna kind of angle it like that. Grab the soft succulent again, and this is the inside piece. Remember, we start off our project. Okay, now we have a little bit of ground on our inside, and if your repositionable tape comes off on your project, it just wipes right off, so no big deal. Okay, so here's what the inside looks like, and here's what the outside looks like. Now, when the lady that I cased it off of, she used 2 different stamp sets. I'm just going to use the one stamp set because I don't have the oceanfront stamp set. So, let's see here. We're going to use Shaded Spruce and Old Olive. Here's our trees. And we're also going to use Evening Evergreen. And so let's go with the Evening Evergreen first. And that'll be, this piece here will be our grass with the Evening Evergreen. And we're just going to kind of stamp around just like that. Okay, and same thing on this piece. Okay, so now we have grass, a grassy hillside. Okay. And now I'm going to take the Shaded Spruce, and that's going to be our big tree. Oh, let me get a Stampin' Pierce pad here, because we're using a photopolymer stamp, and it's a pretty solid stamp, so we need to have a Stampin' Pierce pad under us. There's one. There's 2. Now I'm going to go back to my Evening Evergreen. And this piece is going to be the shading on the trees. Excuse my head if I get my head in the camera. I just it to line these up. There we go, and it's just kind of a subtle shading, but it's enough. Okay, now we're going to use Old Olive, and we're going to stamp our little trees. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp and then stamp the middle tree as a stamp off, and then we're going to restamp see that, so we have a really light middle tree and the two darker outer trees. Okay, and then we need to stamp the inside, and that's back to the shaded spruce, because those are the big trees again. So we need the shaded spruce and the evening evergreen. So about there. That's one of the nice things about photopolymer stamps, is you can see through them. And if you have a boo-boo like that, you can sometimes line them back up and fix the boo-boo. Okay. And then again we need the evening evergreen to give our shading. Not sure this shading on this one's going to be very seeable, because since I had to double stamp it, it's kind of dark. But that's okay. Okay. Now, you say, but those trees are floating. We don't want floating trees like in the floating mountains in Disneyland or Disney World. So we're going to just take our soft suede Stampin' Write marker, and we're going to make a tree trunk. And it's just a skinny tree trunk because it's a skinny tree. And don't forget all your little trees back here too. There you go. And then we have one more bit of stamping to do, our thanks. And I've just got an itty bitty piece of cardstock here. We're going to go back to our evening evergreen. We're just going to stamp that on here. Like so. Excuse me. And then I'm going to cut this out. And I want to cut it real close to the thanks. So I left the piece of the scrap piece of cardstock a little bit bigger so that it was easier to stamp on it. And then now I cut it close to the thanks. So you can leave that piece as big as you want before you cut it close to it. And that's all the stamping and blending and that we have to do. So now we can start putting things together. I do have a piece of ribbon that's about 7.5 inches long that we're going to put on here. Let's start gluing our front pieces together. And because we're using evening evergreen, this is a really good place to use our black dimensionals. And when you use dimensionals, don't forget to use the edges of this. These are also dimensionals and they work just fine. Just like that. But I guess I shouldn't have taken the release paper off because I'm not quite ready for that piece yet. Okay. Okay, so now we want to put our piece of ribbon on. And this particular ribbon is not a Stampin' Up! Ribbon. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. Couldn't tell you, I've had it for quite some time. So use what ribbon you have that will match your piece. And then we're going to glue this down. And then glue this down, since I've already got it ready, just like that. And then we're going to take, no, I want a small dimensional. And we're going to put a small dimensional on one side of the thanks. And the other side, the S side, is going to get glue because it is going to overlap onto our picture. And then the last thing we need to do is put our inside in, and we're done. And, oh, we're not done. We need some bling. Always need some bling. Now you could use rhinestones for this, you could use sequins for this. These are the metallic or red and green adhesive backed pearls that were in the fall catalog that I'm using, but they're retired now. So anyway, there's today's project. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye!